What's up, everybody? This is Josh. I am about to take my number one client, my favorite client, my wife Stacy, through a progression of the hip hinge down here in our basement dungeon gym, and she's going to come on out here and get set up and get ready to go. Alright, the first thing she's going to do is just engage in the hip hinge motion. Go ahead. Alright, she's got slight flexion in her hips there, and she's maintaining a neutral spine. She doesn't have a lot of extra motion going on in her neck to lose that neutral spine position. Okay, so that's step one of our hip hinge there. Okay, Stacy, go ahead and stop. All right, next thing we're going to do is really make sure that we are reinforcing that neutral spine. That's actually step two. Go ahead. Kind of got a little bit ahead of us there, but that neutral spine is definitely intact. Okay, you can stop. Now we're going to make sure that we're braced. Okay, we've got our hip hinge, neutral posture, and brace. So she's going to take a deep breath in through her nose, out through her mouth, set the brace, and go. Perfect. Now with a simple body weight exercise like this, you can slightly breathe behind the brace, but if you were really doing a really intense strength training exercise, you're gonna really want to get a re-brace after every rep. That's good. So when we move to the kettlebell here toward the end, she's going to re-brace after every rep, okay, and continue to take those deep breaths and get reset. All right, we're moving on into our next step, which is the hip hinge with neutral posture, brace, and torque. When we talk about torque, we want to make sure that she is externally rotating there with her feet and her legs. And we're going to make sure that we have what we call tripod foot, which is really gripping the floor with your toes, your big toe, your little toe, and your heel. And go ahead. Generate torque and tension all the way through the floor. Go ahead. She's braced. All right, tripod foot. Generating the torque. All right, that's good. Now we're going to move into the next step, number 5. Hip hinge, neutral spine, braced with torque, and a hard lockout. Go ahead. That's really good. And she's having to re-brace every time now. All right, that's good. You can stop. Now she's going to go ahead and lean into the kettlebell. She's going to make sure that she is hinging with neutral posture, neutral spine. She's braced, generating torque through the feet, getting a hard lockout. She's going to lean into the kettlebell. Go ahead. She's going to kind of let the kettlebell get pulled back to her. And now don't let that kettlebell flop up there at the top. Really take it to the shoulders, pull it back down hard. Good job. All right, that's good, Stacy. You can stop. Now, she and I are going to trade places. I'm going to let her take the camera. I'm going to break down a couple things right there and we'll be done. All right, Stacy was doing an awesome job of getting neutral spine, staying braced throughout the whole course of the movement, and she's got great mobility. She's a former elite level gymnast, so she's hyper mobile. That way she can perform an exercise like this and go through the full range of motion no problem. For her, it's going to be a matter of maintaining stability, so just reinforcing the pattern of the movement is going to be critical for somebody like Stacy, and then we can kind of take her on through a progression of kettlebell swings and deadlifts, exercises that are going to continue to allow her to reinforce her mobility, which she's good at, and make sure that she continues to be stable throughout the course of the movement as well. You can incorporate bands, banded good mornings, pretty much anything that's going to provide extra added resistance throughout the course of the movement and really make sure that that core stays tight throughout the brace, spine stays neutral, and she's performing a hip hinge in the proper manner. So she did an awesome job. Good job, Stacy. That's it for the hip hinge. Hey, this is Josh Lord. I'm about to take my wife and number one client, Stacy, through the progression of what you're going to do. You're going to do barbell deadlift. All right, the first thing she's going to do is adjust the bar. She wants to make sure that she is getting pretty close to the bar, maybe 4 to 6 inches. She's got a good mobility, and we've already seen that she does a good hip hinge, so she can actually get a little bit closer, and then she's actually going to Now use the hip hinge to get into the bar. Okay, go ahead. Go down and grip the bar with your hip hinge. She sets her brace. She goes down. All right, now she's going to pull it down into more of a squat. Go ahead and take the bar back down. All right, stand back up. All right, this time when you address the bar, go down, grip it, but don't pull it from the floor. Now she's going to just go ahead and pull her hips down a little bit. All right, now she's ready to go. That is really good posture right there. That's good form and technique because her chest is up and her spine is neutral and she's in good alignment to go ahead and pull it from the floor. Her knees are pushing out on her elbows right there on the inside of her elbows. That's generating more tension for her to pull the bar on up from the floor. Okay, go ahead and pull it from the floor. And then we got a hard lockout right there just like we did with her hip hinge. Now she's going to go ahead and RDL the weight to her knees and then sit it back down in a squat. And then come on up for another rep. Hard lockout. Good. RDL to the floor and down. All right. Excellent. All right. You can go ahead and stop. That's good. All right, now we're going to switch positions here. Stacy did a good job with the deadlift. She was a pro at the hip hinge, as we saw just a minute ago, and now getting into the bar, she is very comfortable getting in that hip hinge position, probably better than me, getting down in there onto the bar. Once she grips the bar, she wants to really make sure that she's got tension all the way from her toes up through her upper extremities, because that tension is going to create more force for her to pull from the floor. If you've got a client or an athlete that is struggling with the deadlift, some good lead-up exercises for them is to just start with your typical hip hinge pattern, go through all the progressions, work up to a kettlebell swing, get them used to getting into that position. You want to start light. If you are just learning the deadlift, you're not going to want to get out there and get too heavy. Anything that's going to pull anything in the lower back that's going to make you not be able to stay braced throughout the whole span of the exercise. You also are going to want to make sure that when you get in here on the bar that you can take the slack out of the bar, get set, and go from there. So if you've got some bands or something that can provide extra added resistance to help you get that, help you really feel what it means to pull the slack out of the bar and then finish from there, that's good. You can also do partials. You can put the weight on blocks, pull from there to kind of decrease that range of motion if you got someone that has a hard time getting low to the floor. Those are just a few tips on the deadlift, CPPS style. That's it. Thank you.